Christopher Nolan's Black Ops 3 is an incredible trip. You have a campaign that will leave you deep diving Reddit to figure out what in God's name you just played, a multiplayer that is absolutely S tier, and a zombies mode that is my Taylor Swift. This zombies mode is unrivaled, and anyone that disagrees can kiss the fattest part of my succulent butt. Black Ops 3 took the advanced movement system seen in Advanced Warfare and made it better, going from this obnoxious dinking and dunking and moving towards boosting bursts and wall running. And while this may look like Titanfall, just know it's not Titanfall, it's just a slight copy of Titanfall. It's the video game version of, you can copy my homework, just make it look different. The game in its current state has some issues, such as cheaters ranging from invisibility to those exceeding the pick 10 custom class system by giving themselves more unlocks in each class. I've also experienced weird game crashes here and there, but I also have seen players online complaining about the PC version of the game being an absolute nightmare, which kinda doesn't really surprise me considering Call of Duty games pre-2019 weren't properly optimized for PC gaming. As for the contents of the game, the campaign is basically if Christopher Nolan and Michael Bay got together, took a whole bunch of ayahuasca, shout out Aaron Rodgers, and developed one of the most confusing Call of Duty stories to date. And after reading hours and hours of Reddit posts, watching Aaron Rodgers interviews, and even a few YouTube videos on this campaign, I think I might have figured it out. Maybe not. To sum this entire thing up, because I don't want to waste your time, this guy named Player is actually Taylor, or the guy from the TV show my grandmother loves, who gets into a bit of a schoolyard scrap with some robots, resulting in limbs flying, leading to Player getting a DNI implant giving them special abilities. Basically, these guys aren't Taylor and his team, but some other team that minds have been blended in with Taylor's DNI. At least that's what I got from it. There's a lot of talk about a frozen forest.
What is a frozen forest?
Which to me just plays as one bad acid trip, supporting characters such as Rachel, who is by far one of the best quickscopers in the Call of Duty franchise.
What the hell? Who's shooting?
And Hendrix, who clearly has never survived a recession and needing to budget because of how wasteful he is with food. And he seems to suffer from every other word being
Fuck!
Marshawn Lynch is in the game and he's gone. It still stuns me how involved he was for that promotional. He was literally a cover for the Game Informer to maybe get people to buy the game. Taylor / not Taylor's team is pretty bland, as they all just seem to be nearly identical to one another, as they all seem to have the same personality trait of paint drying. Confusing story aside, the mission design in the game is extremely fun. Some of the boss battles that they have, if you even can call them that, are pretty entertaining to complete. Not to mention, even with the story being pretty confusing, there are some really cool moments. Though I'm still running into nightmares because of the, my god, somebody help! The zombies is the example of what Call of Duty Zombies modes can be and should be. From the launch and DLC maps, Black Ops 3 Zombies does it better than any other zombies experience in the entire franchise, especially because of one key feature: mods. Mods in Zombies only exist on the PC version of the game. The main mods that I recommend are the various maps created by the fans of the game. I wouldn't go with the base game maps because they're okay. You can play in places like the Family Guy home, or even a map that turns the zombies into plankton, which is so terrifying. And honestly, the mods alone is probably the only reason you should play Black Ops 3 on your PC. As for the multiplayer, the Black Ops 3 multiplayer is probably somewhere in my top 3. The movement feels extremely smooth and is definitely a step up from Advanced Warfare. Each map is designed with some unique or distinct way that actually plays with the new movement system very well. This is also the best game to offer the specialist mechanic, which is basically Call of Duty's version of the whole heroes system that you could see in Overwatch, where each one of these specific characters has a certain kind of ability, like faster speed, grav spikes, that generate some sort of explosion in a certain radius, or even cancer. Nah, I'm just kidding with you, but if you use Pyro's ability, seriously, fuck you. You also had things such as a pick 10 system, auto bursts, which were extremely broken, but so satisfying to use, and a catalog of customizations that made Call of Duty go from this to this.
Backstreet's back, alright.
At this game's peak, no joke, I remember putting hours upon hours upon hours of time into this game. The game was super engaging and has some of the best content in the entire franchise. Though I will say the biggest downside of this game was the black market system. The black market was a way for players to unlock supply drops. This was done by either purchasing them with COD points or even crypto from playing the game. The issue with this was the inconsistency in which loot was earned, as the supply drop system was just the player gambling on an opportunity to earn the best loot possible. In the case of Black Ops 3 supply drop system, new weapons were locked behind the system, so obviously this created a massive imbalance within the game between those who had those new weapons versus those who didn't. And it was basically an absolute crapshoot on whether or not you'd get one of these from the supply drop, as you were basically just gambling, shout out T Martin, for one opportunity to get one of these new weapons. And it seemed as though more often than not, if you bought supply drops, you ended up getting better loot versus those that played the game and earned using crypto. Do I miss the supply drop system? Sure, mainly because of that feeling you had when you unlocked one of these cosmetics. But I also know that this system was an absolute disaster and would probably never come back unless they were willing to do it somewhat similar to, like, I don't know, World War II's. Black Ops 3 is still playable as long as you somehow find a way to avoid the cheaters or even the weird server issues. Regardless, Black Ops 3 is by far one of the best in the entire franchise, and one that I put on the scale of slamming and jamming as Ice Spice. Anyways, that's it. What did you think of Black Ops 3? I'd love to know what you have to say in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, great. Maybe consider leaving a like or subscribing because it helps out the channel. If you didn't, then, well, it's not getting much better than this. Thanks for watching, and, well, bye.